Welcome, my name is Trish. Thank you for joining me today for the December predictions, December 2024. I'm going to have a look at the November predictions that I made last month and the things that actually did happen. I did feel they were a little soft compared to the previous 2 months, with all the rising waters and the where I predicted the rising waters, and that was the cyclones, the 2 major cyclones. I did say that give the dates as though for them as well, and that was the 2 of them. So, but the things did happen. I was quite surprised that I've predicted for November. I thought the reading was a bit soft, nothing too big in there that was big and obvious. So when all these small things did come to pass, I was a little bit shocked. So I do love reading this deck. I love reading these cards, and they do always surprise me. How accurate they are and how they tell stories. I'm really surprised, but I do love this deck, and I really look forward to doing these monthly predictions. So let's get into some of these predictions that I made for November and that actually happened. So the night before I do a reading, I leave my dreams open for messages to come through, and the one that came through last month was a celebrity death. So one did happen within days early on in the month of November. I don't remember the name of that person, but it is in the comments of that November video. Somebody came in and said this actress died and gave the name, and I do appreciate when you guys do that and put the as they happen and as you see the predictions happening when you go in and make a comment on that this has happened, because I don't always know what's going on around the world. I don't always catch what's going on here and there, and plus it saves me having to go through and dig before this reading to see what happened. So when it's just in the comments and I'm seeing it there, I know that it's already happened and come to pass. Now, the first prediction that I made was that a CEO resigns, leaves office, and I said this could be a journalist, TV presenter, or a journalist stepping down, or it could be a CEO stepping down. Both happened. So somebody also made a comment early on in the month of November that a newspaper journalist resigned or stood down, but also the Beast CEO stood down as well, resigned. So that happened as well. Now there was next prediction was an unexpected result in the currency sector, the banking sector, around cryptocurrency. I said Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency, tech sector related. So, but the Dogecoin, DOGE coin, spiked over November. I actually have that crypto, so that's why I know that it spiked, and I believe it's related to Elon Musk, that coin. So, and if that is the case, that makes sense as to why it is tech sector, because that is Elon Musk. He is the tech sector. So talking about an unexpected result, and it spiked. So that one there, quite a lot too. Then we had the military, strong opposition, and I did say the word sighting in that as well. It could be sighting, something to do with a sighting. Now, what's been big in the month of November is the hearings. There's been some kind of disclosure hearings that they've been talking about. Actually, someone said on there, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the person. It could have been to do with a news network, said something about aliens are here and also the earth is flat. So there's 2 big things that were said, but I didn't mention anything about that. What I did say is that there's military has strong opposition, and it could be related somehow to sightings. But big this over the month of November was those hearings. So there was a lot going on around those hearings around disclosure or UFO sightings. So that was big as well. Now, I did talk about the election in the main reading. I did a separate video for the elections, and I'm not going to go through that interpretation now, but the election results did appear in the November readings, of course, because it's November. And what it did say, it had the Trump card, which is my fake news card. I relate that to Donald Trump. That came out, as well as changes coming. So that happened. Trump did win, and he is making lots of changes. Also, it said that there's a planned outcome. Oh, that's the next one. But it did say somebody's staying put, is what it's saying. The next one was transport of people, big changes or a planned outcome around the transport of people, which means to do with the border. It means people transportation there. And it said that it could be keeping this quiet. So I'm not sure what's going on. I do believe they are making changes, or that's part of the policies that Trump is bringing out, but I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on in that area. But I did say there's something going on about there's big planned outcomes around transport of people, which I do call the border kind of issues, and keeping things quiet. Now, the other thing that came up in the reading, I didn't write it down, but was related to the surveillance, and I've been getting that since August, been getting the recording, so not surveillance, but people being recorded, and that's related to the Diddy files. It did say that there would be a good outcome, and I said that there would be more victims coming forward. So, and we are seeing a lot more victims coming forward, giving their story. The one that I heard last night was that happened in 2001. It was a male going to a casting call, and he was drugged, and fill in the blanks, the rest happened. So there is more victims coming forward. So, and I did feel though that the good outcome was for the victims, because I saw the card and it had light around the victim, and it said that coming it to light, so more victim stories coming to light, but there was a good outcome. So we're yet to see the good outcome yet. His trial is not till 2025, but the cards are predicting good outcome and more victims coming forward. But that did happen through the month of November. Now, getting on to this month's predictions, I'm going to show you the dream that I had last night, and I'll just run through that. Very strange. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, and then I'm going to clear the energy and see what we can bring through for the month of December. But last night's dream was very weird. It was something went across the sky. I didn't see it, but people were talking about this thing going across the sky, whether it's some kind of fancy missile or technology of some sort, or whether it was a UFO, I don't know, but they were talking about something unusual going across the sky, which would mean new technology in the weapons industry, missiles or UFOs. But people were talking about this thing going across the sky. I didn't personally see it in the dream. I was seeing people were talking about, let me try and get this energy back through. I didn't write it down. I'm just trying to recall it as I go. Now, people were very fearful. They were very fearful, and I was gathering all of these pamphlets. Some were related to religion, and I had this big stack of information or pamphlets related to, and a lot of it I think was religious based. So I think people were very fearful and trying to seek comfort in religion, maybe. So this, or trying to relate back to this thing happening, related back to religion and how it was predicted in the Bible. So that could be that. I'm not sure if that's what that means. Now, the other thing that was really prominent in that dream was I was talking to people about people and their family getting onto planes. So I don't know if that means that people were being exported, or how they send planes into certain areas to bring back civilians of certain countries onto the planes to get them out of an area. But they were talking about people in their family getting onto planes. So I don't know if it's people going into hiding. I don't know if it's people being rescued. I don't know if it's strange things happening with planes going on around there, but this was very prominent and somehow related. Also, I just saw all this water, and I saw like a very small bridge going from one place to another, and I had to cross this bridge. I don't know how that's related as well, but yeah, it was a very strange dream, so I don't know if any of that is going to happen. But let's get on to December 2024 predictions. Oh, I also woke up with a nosebleed this morning straight after having that dream. So I don't know if that is connected to the dream in any way, or I don't know if it's a sign for something or if it's something else related, but very unusual. I don't normally get nosebleeds, but woke up with a nosebleed after having that weird dream. Let's take a look at the cards that have come out. Okay, first of all, we've got a sinking ship. So many people, big city. So this is related to something to do with a boat, something sinking, water related, flooding, people in boats because of flooding in a big city. So many people are affected. Okay, I'm also hearing something about consequences around the disaster, consequences for something. A disaster. Trying to steer something away from something or a place. So trying to steer something away from a big city, or hoping something would steer away from a big city, move away from a big city. Cold, I'm just getting with this one here. I'm still doing this top one. And I'm hearing accountability here. Consequences and accountability I don't understand. Okay, it shows weaknesses of some sort. So weaknesses to planning, weaknesses to defense, weaknesses to structures of some sort. There's weaknesses to something. Boats, ships, but it's some structure of some sort. Weaknesses around a structure is discovered, or because of this. Could be related to the consequences. Okay, down the bottom here on its own we have cyclone damage. So cyclone and cyclone damage. Now I don't know if this part here is related to this one here, or if this is a separate prediction, but it's talking about there's policies or new rules or policies being put in place around consequences. The word consequences is already there. And damage done. Consequence, damage done. Okay, that's very interesting, because I was hearing the word consequence. I don't pre-read the cards. I just shuffle them, lay them, and start from the top. But they were telling me about consequences. I didn't quite understand what they're saying, but now it's on the table. So there's strategy and planning involved before or after. So it's either talking about new rules being made or new policies put in place around cyclone damage done. So cyclone damage. Now, whether this is related, the feeling I'm getting is they're looking at the recent cyclones and they're trying to put something in place around that for other cyclones, which could already be on the table. It could be for the month of December. They're planning or going into... Okay, that seems to be... I'm feeling like... let me get the word right. The feeling is not meltdown, but panic or... busyness. Like there's a lot of in the people, the decision makers, or it's like they're busy trying to come up with strategies or policies here, because that's the two cards on the table. But there's busyness going on, and it's like it feels urgent. It feels like they've got to come up with solutions of some sort, come up with planning. But there's like busyness going on there which makes me feel like it's urgent or something they need to do right now. Strategy and planning, it says consequences for damage done, but I feel like consequences could also be related to this. So it's a consequence of weak structure or consequence of poor planning results in a worse result than what it could have been. If they don't get things right around the strategy and the planning, it's not good. The consequences are bad. So they really need to... I feel that's why I'm seeing all this busyness of people, really in a panic, or it's not so much panic, but it's busyness. They've got to get this planning all right, or they've got to get the strategy right to get it, because if they don't, it's bad consequences. I'm feeling here could be related to a cyclone, because that's on the table, and it could be related to this here as well, the rising waters, people in boats, lots of people affected by it, and a big city related. Okay, down the bottom again, we've got more water, underwater. Let me bring it up. We've got this one here, underwater. So another one about water, underwater. So a lot of water energy around December. It says submarine or underwater. Again, I'm feeling all these cards down this line here. We're looking at a sinking ship, which is, I see boats on water, little boats on water. It could be a sinking of a big ship, but it feels more like I'm seeing people in little blow up boats on water. And then we've got water, underwater, things underwater, and cyclone damage. So these could all be related here as well, and again related to this one, but we also related for this one, which is making me think. Normally I like to break it up, and I did break it up into 5 separate readings because I like to make 5 separate predictions, but this feels like to be one really big thing. And that's what I said at the start of this reading. Last month felt a little bit soft. It felt like it was just all small things, and as opposed to the previous 2 months were big, like mostly the news was related to this big thing happening. Same energy around that I'm feeling now. It feels like all these small readings that I put out to be like 5 small predictions feels connected and something big. So a big thing, and it says big. The word big is right there as well. Okay, so underground or in hiding. Now, that's giving me bunker kind of energy. I'm sorry, I don't like to do the dark predictions. I did one a few months back, it was either August or September. There was like really dark energy, scary energy, intense energy, and I had a few comments saying, I can't even watch this because it's so dark, but it all happened. It was the Helene and the Milton. And it happened, but I'm bringing in strong energy again, so intense energy. It bothers me because I tried to break it down into 5 small predictions like I did last month, but it's coming through with one big prediction, one big thing. Can I break it down into smaller ones and they can be separate, smaller things? We've got so many people affected in a big city to do with water or boats on the water. Then we've got running down this line, we've got the boats on the water, we've got underwater, we've got cyclone damage. Over here on this line, we've got so many people underground or in hiding. New trying to come up with new rules, new policies, new laws, new strategies, new planning. It's planning and strategy going on to mitigate the consequences of the damage that's done. So they're trying to come up with solutions or to structures maybe in some way to make sure the damage done is not as bad as what it could have been. So hopefully they get that sorted. Now over here we've got again, somebody is being backed. This is a separate prediction. This one feels to be more like scandals, P. Diddy scandals, or scandals of celebrities, scandals of politicians, some kind of scandal related. Somebody is backstabbed or betrayed around the scandal. That's why I'm saying scandal, because it says scandal right there around the scandal. The most prominent scandal that's going on right now is the P. Diddy scandal. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it is going to be P. Diddy. It could be Epstein lists. It could be JFK files. Some kind of scandal where somebody was betrayed or backstabbed. That information coming out. But also here we're talking about surveillance or recordings as well, which makes me think P. Diddy because he's got all the recordings, but so does Epstein. So here we've got, on this one here, we've got a scandal, we've got surveillance, which is recordings, and then we've got somebody being backstabbed or betrayed. So this could be people coming out to give evidence, or people coming out with to save their own skin, maybe to giving evidence. So there's some kind of backstabbing or betraying going on right now in the month of December, or we're going to be seeing information being drip fed to us around past scandals, past lists, past JFK files, past things. So surveillance even could be because I'm getting, like, not right now, but I have been the last few days, I've been getting like UFO radar going off, and I haven't had that for many years, but it feels I'm getting like radar going off around UFOs. So I don't like to make this reading too conspiracy. I try to make this reading more practical about actual things that happen around the world events, current events. But I've got to say here, it could also be related to that as well. It could be surveillance or records or surveillance that they actually have of these kind of scandals and somebody being backstabbed. So I'm not sure what scandal that is. I'm not sure which one, but it's somebody's being backstabbed. We're seeing evidence of it. We're seeing recordings of things, and it's coming out and somebody is backstabbed or somebody has been backstabbed. Okay, we've got also here, we've got cameras and security. I don't know, that's all by itself over here. And down the bottom here, we've got these 3 cards. So let me just see what these mean. We've got the rulership handover, which is the US elections. Unless it's related to royal family, because this is a royal card. But because it's got the AI tech sitting right next to it, I feel it's probably more related to Trump and Elon. Mountains again. We've had that mountains card in the US readings before. Mountains. Volcanoes. It says volcanoes. So because it's got the volcano card on the table, I have to say that as volcanoes. It could be volcanoes somewhere around the world. Could be something relating to mountains. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just try and tap in to see if I can get anything else out of this card here. When it came up in the Trump reading, prediction reading, I was talking about Appalachian Mountains. But I do have to talk about volcanoes as well. But how is it connected to AI tech and rulership handover? And this is making me think also, I'm doing a reading this week on Elon Musk, the robots, because we've got this robot card here. It's in the reading that I done last week for Trump, it came out with Elon, Trump and cyber tech. And I want to talk, and military card keeps coming out around that as well. So I want to take a look at his new robots, robots I think they're called, and if they're somehow connected to a military that's being built, a military robot military being built. So that reading I'm going to do separately, but I'm not sure if this is what this is talking about or reminding me about. We are talking about a rulership handover, which is either the royal family or Trump. AI tech, which is why I'm leaning more towards Trump. Why is it connected to... Okay, I'm going to pull another card because I want to see what this card here is. Okay, so a few cards came out there. One was somebody resigning, leaving office. Could be related to rulership handover. Then I've got here, I was asking to validate or give me more clarification on what this volcano card is. It's talking about a crisis. It says pandemic there, but it can talk about a crisis. Plans being put in place or plans being made, planned outcome. A food shortage connected to that. Things returning to normal. If we are talking about those mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, that's possibly what that is. And trying to get things under control. It says control puppet, but it could be trying to get things under control. This is the only prediction for this week that I'm not 100% certain of what's going on with that one. But let's just quickly recap what the predictions are for the month of December. There seems to be something big connected to water, boats on a water, little boats or boats on a water, cyclone damage, really intense energy, something underwater, a lot of people affected. It's big, or a big city, because I'm just reading that as it's big, something big, and a big city. People going underground, people going into hiding, people going into bunkers, or trying to hide some kind of information. If they're talking about, if it's related to these things like tech, AI tech, something's going underground, so trying to hide something. Or it could be actual people going into safe spaces is what I'm getting there. Here we've got trying to get strategy and planning to mitigate any damage, strategy planning, new policy, new rules, trying to prevent damage or prevent bad consequences, negative consequences. A rulership handover and somehow connected to AI, which could be Elon Musk here. And then we've got the scandal one going on up here, somebody being backtrayed, so information coming up around scandals, or people betraying the P. Diddy, maybe to save their own skin or to come out and betray him. So I don't know which scandal we're talking about here, but there's more information coming out around the scandal, information being released which relates to being betrayed or being backstabbed. So I think it ends up only being one major prediction, a smaller prediction over here, something going on here that's 3 and 4 with this one here. 4, I think that's it. So, and then I feel this strategy could all be related, so, or damage done. Now, if it's not related to the major event up here, we're talking down here about new rules and policies, could be related to the AI industry, the tech industry, maybe new policies, or like new inventions or new AI tech coming to help in some way, assist in some way, make things better in some way. And then we've got this rulership handover, either royal or Trump. So yeah, that's interesting. Big month for the month of December. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back again for January's predictions at the end of December, and we'll take a look at what happened. I'll see you next time.